Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is your boy Nikolai Capone, and today we're watching what will happen to music after TikTok's demise. I'm curious. I think that music would be a lot different because they were already kind of like banning it on the platform and everything, or they did like some deal earlier where they weren't like paying. I don't remember. I can't remember the specifics of it. Y'all can search that up yourselves. But anyway, I know that they were already trying to do that. So I'm curious what they're going to do once TikTok's gone, because I know some of the biggest songs like ever came off of the TikTok platform because people were constantly using the sound, or people would make like TikToks and just run up the views, stuff like that. So I'm curious what would actually happen to music, because does that mean that there would be less money for all these people? Does it mean that more people would garner towards like the more popular songs, and the more popular songs would get more money? Does that mean that underground people would stay more underground? Like, I don't know. I'm curious. Anyway, let's get to it.
If you've been keeping up with the news recently, you've probably heard about TikTok being banned in America just over a week from now. TikTok's potential ban has been floating around the political sphere since early 2020, but it wasn't until April of last year that America was given the earliest date for when the platform would be banned on January.
I think that I think personally, like, this just might be my opinion, but there's a lot of stuff that comes with TikTok and the power to post whatever you want, and it could possibly go viral. Like, don't get me wrong, like YouTube and stuff like that, you can still do that, but I think with TikTok, it's like a way higher degree. But anyway,
January 19th, 2025. That means we're now just over a week away from the ban going into effect, and the narrative has continued to shift on what the fate of the short-form content prodigy is, and how this will affect creators and small businesses that have been able to successfully grow their following by leveraging the app's generous algorithm. The app began to really hit the ground running between 2019 and 2020. This is where the content started to branch off from what you would normally see in its adverts back then and grew into what it is today. A platform where anybody from anywhere can create a viral dance trend, become a creator with a loyal fan base, and express their opinions about any topic.
I ain't gonna lie, Keith Lee was kind of, I personally don't care for Keith Lee, like, no offense. But I think that he definitely helped the platform out, and I like to see a lot of food reviews.
No matter how insignificant it could be. And if a user doesn't have any original content to share, they are free to engage with existing content and add their own input on it. TikTok has always encouraged sampling and recycling content to further drive engagement on its platform. This can come in the form of stitches or using specific hashtags that will hopefully rank your video higher in a video poll or the For You page. There are add-ons that can be made to your videos called sounds that basically just paste a recording into your video. This is typically used as background music or audio that adds commentary for the user to lip sync to. Depending on the sound you're using, this can have a massive impact on the attention your video receives.
We got so many corny videos from that. Very corny. Don't get me wrong, I'm like the king of corny, but you got to see such corny stuff coming from TikTok, dude.
Trending sound can do a lot of heavy lifting to get a casual TikTok user with no following some decent engagement. Frequent users of the app have obviously caught on to this, and will occasionally take a stab at uncovering the next big sound to define TikTok's homepage for the next few weeks or even months. And of course, music is one of, if not the best, utilization of the sound feature. So many new songs have been discovered thanks to creative user-generated content, utilizing a specific part of a song to create entertaining videos that can be shared universally. This of course doesn't just benefit the TikToker using it, but more so the artists themselves. It puts a musician's work on display for millions to hear, and that opens up a huge door for artists big and small.
That's facts. I don't know if I said that, but I remember Rockstar being really huge too.
To get the eyes and ears on the music they've always wanted.
Rockstar and that "What You Know About Rolling Down in the Deep." Then I never heard anything else from him again.
We had artists like Doja Cat feel a nice kickback when her song Say So was given a quirky dance by a popular TikToker. That dance went viral, and the sound has now been used over 7.8 million times.
God dang.
Not every video using the sound is the dance trend, but most of the popular ones are. And there have been plenty of, I hate using this word, classics in the TikTok community that had trends that helped boost the song's recognition.
Oh, there it is right there.
And helped encourage those who enjoyed the song to become avid listeners of it outside of TikTok.
Oh, okay.
But not only that.
God dang, 1.6 billion? WAP had 1.4 billion.
Independent artists and less
I like to watch the video on mute.
mainstream artists from different corners of the country have been able to build a strong following by leveraging TikTok to make entertaining videos involving their music. With TikTok being more of a short-form favorite platform, artists can create vast quantities of videos that can tackle different forms of content, from skits to short music videos, and my least favorite form of music promotion, music pandering. Regardless of how you choose to promote your content, you have plenty of opportunities to create a viral video including your music, because TikTok encourages users to post multiple times per day to raise your chances of visibility on the platform. If you continue experimenting and something doesn't work, then that just means you're a step closer to finding out what does. So those who are frequent students of the game have found formats that attract the right audience to gravitate them toward their artistry. So that leaves us with two outstanding opportunities for musicians to gain recognition on TikTok. We have witnessed probably the biggest rise in full-time label-free musicians in the last 10 years, and that can greatly be attributed to TikTok.
That's good, man. That's good. Forget all these labels, bro. If you can be independent, go independent.
And the platform's ability to get musicians' content in front of users more likely to interact with it. If you're going to be an independent artist and not take the common route of going to LA, performing as a busker until a label signs you, and then handles everything outside of music so you can just camp in the studio, you're given some responsibilities you just can't ignore if you plan on being a musician full time. Now that you have taken the role of an independent musician, you have now given yourself the responsibility of being your own manager, planning and executing your career goals, the booking agent, scheduling appearances and
Oh my god, there's a focus right there. I love that. I'm using that one right now.
performances, the distributor, getting your music out anywhere that music can be consumed, and undoubtedly the most essential form of marketing, the content creator. It's without a doubt that social media is the #1 player in music marketing, especially for independent artists. Without it, there's no way of building a brand for yourself, and there's no easy way of communicating with your audience outside of playing shows. Unless you can miraculously sell out a show a day for the next 20 or so years, you better get on social media if you want your music to do anything.
Facts.
Being a content creator is more than just having Instagram on your phone and posting a pic of yourself to your story, telling people, hey, check
Jesus Christ. But that's, I mean, I do that. Not like check out my songs, but like, yo, new content out, and then I put like a really crazy, ugly ass photo of me.
out my new song I just released. It is a start, but many artists have found much more success by playing multiple parts to craft visually entertaining videos that cater to the people they need to see the content. This requires a lot of extra time and effort.
I don't like content beast. I like content machine. A machine's just a better word, because when you out there and you doing your grind, trust me, it's just, it makes more sense.
Outside of your craft, but the return on investment is astronomical compared to artists that don't. It seems that artists have also received the highest ROI from posting on TikTok compared to any other platform out there at the moment. Sometimes people tend to put too much focus into that one platform, and that leads the creator to fall into the whole putting your eggs in one basket dilemma. And that is where a lot of artists and small businesses are starting to feel the effects following the ban of TikTok. It has been estimated that a loss of around $1.3 billion in revenue
God dang. And they really want to get rid of this, dude. That's crazy.
is expected to hit small businesses and creators in just 1 month of TikTok's ban.
This is bad. This is very bad.
And why is this just as impactful for musicians? Well, TikTok is a platform where creators and small businesses get the most engagement from utilizing the musical features than Reels and YouTube Shorts do.
Yep.
Now that they are left to focus on building their presence on other platforms, there's much less user
Which y'all should follow me. YouTube.com/Nikolai Capone, Instagram.com/Nikolai Capone. We are out here anyway.
generated content surrounding music.
Shameless plug.
It'll
Shameless
always
plug.
be there because there are creators that make content based on promoting and reviewing new music, but nothing has been as organic and attractive to a social media than the way TikTok has capitalized on utilizing music on their platform. Same for the musicians posting on TikTok. If they went all in and built the largest part of their followers.
Also, I've seen like a few brokies like get this little TikTok and they're like, sign up for TikTok and we get $50 each. I'm just like, bro, get out of here.
On this platform, it will be very difficult keeping the same attention on your name and music on other platforms. Because as similar as Reels and Shorts seem, TikTok users like very different things about their app that the others just don't provide. Without it, it is very uncertain where those users will most likely go. Will they try out TikTok clones that are hoping to jump in its place following its ban? Or will they just choose from Shorts and Reels since they might already had experience with them in the past?
I ain't gonna lie. I tried this app. Oh my god, focus. Anyway, I tried this app called Clapper, and it's just like TikTok. So I'm curious to see if it's even going to last like a few months.
All very confusing and leaves a lot of the future of short form content in question, but of course this is primarily a music channel, so I want to focus on what this means for music and the artists being affected by this ban. I would have loved to weigh in the pros and cons of this, but it is really hard to find any reason this would benefit an artist in the environment artists are currently operating in. I mean, I guess you could look at it as a clean slate to discover new ways to get your music heard, but that just isn't an easy thing to do, and artists are going to be in a hurry to get a jump start on doing the next best thing to keep their streams and following where they want it. I think it's clear that we will see a larger shift to Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts following the ban. I personally think that Instagram will be a greater focus point for artists moving on from TikTok.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I think Instagram Reels is better than YouTube Shorts right now. However, I think that, you know, give it enough time, YouTube Shorts could probably dominate Instagram Reels, only because they have just a track record of people coming back to the site a lot more than Instagram. I mean, don't get me wrong, Instagram's powerful, but YouTube Shorts, like, their algorithm is trying to make you stay as long as possible, and it's been working forever.
I believe Instagram has a greater focus on the influencer side of things and wants to promote the user themselves rather than the content that is being made. That is just off.
That's not true, because well, I mean, as long as with Facebook, like, they promoted, they let me build, and then all of a sudden they just, as soon as they found out, like, oh, we don't need any more people making videos because now they'll do it, you know, just to do it. They got me. They're like, boom. So, I mean, if they focus on the creator again, that'd be great.
Off the top of my head, so it might be worth discussing in a future video if there's a short form focused platform that provides the greatest ROI for music. We'll have to see what eventually happens with TikTok though. But following TikTok's potential ban, this will affect a lot of artists negatively. If an artist has not been cross-promoting enough and their TikTok followers aren't following them on the other platforms, those people might not jump to the next best platform to search for you because they were most likely following dozens if not hundreds of other users. The odds are not in the favor of the artist unless the follower is really connected to the artist's music. But if they were, it's pretty likely they would have been already following them everywhere else they could, including their streaming service. I'm not trying to be harsh. I really care, and the artists out there should too, because there's a pretty good chance this is their livelihood. And I want every artist out there to leave this ban just as secure as they were before it. But it is very possible that future music releases may struggle a bit more without that extra channel to promote on. I do believe already released music.
You know what? I think maybe this is a good thing. We just see I think we're good on that.
Perform just as well as it has, because at this point it is now just a track that stands on its own.
Fire. Good artist. Great artist.
If people like it, they'll continue to listen to it as long as it is enjoyable to them. So hopefully at this point you have a decently sized catalog that has established your sound and displays your talent as a musician.
Good albums.
One thing I'll say is I do believe artists will have to work harder to get people to listen to their music. Remember back when I said pandering was my least favorite form of music promotion? I think TikTok users typically ate that up, and this worked great for artists that were really trying to grab fans from a fan base or genre that might not be releasing music as frequently or that is just not that popular at the moment. Artists will really have to focus on standing out as different and refreshing as possible if they want to grow a following, because there is no other platform that really encourages this type of marketing tactic. So while we have just a little over a week before this whole platform is flushed down the drain,
allegedly, I mean, I just read some news today that, you know, Biden ain't even going to enforce it, so it'll be up to the Trump administration. So I'm curious how that's going to go.
I'm going to lay out some ideas for musicians to minimize the hit towards their following and maintain their music's visibility. In order to minimize the hit to your career, it would be wise to cross-promote ASAP. Let your followers know where else they can find you and encourage them to follow you along the journey, because there is going to be much more in store. While you do that, immediately start studying these other established platforms already if you haven't.
Facts.
And start curating content for these platforms while there is still time to get a head start. It might even be worth it to repurpose content you've already posted on TikTok if you haven't already, just to leave a solid picture of what you can provide as an artist while you start to attract newer people. And start to focus on some longer form videos. I realized that with posting short form content, this comes with short form fans. If the people you're trying to grab the attention of
That's true.
typically digest only a minute or so of you at a time, it is much harder to keep them interested in your next hour-long album. I think building an audience that loves to really connect on a personal level with an artist would enjoy content like pre-recorded performances, Q&As, and maybe even behind the scenes of the creative process.
That's the whole humanization thing that I talk about all the time. People like to see a human side to the artist or like the influencer or whatever, you know what I mean? Because it lets them know that these are like real people, you know what I mean? It's not like some mystic creature that comes out every once in a while to release good music then dips, you know? Like we're as human beings, we are curious about that. We want to see the human side. But anyway,
if you want to get even more personal, there are communities that are built in Discord communities.
also people like a lot of rappers and stuff like that are trying to follow, you know, I can say it like DDG's kind of has a path that a lot of rappers are just they hate that he has that kind of platform that where he can make music and then, you know, can just stream or make a video or something like that. They're afraid to do that because they don't think the content's going to be good. If we're going to be honest, like DDG kind of has this shit in a rap, you know?
Or live streams where the artist can speak directly with the fans. This allows for some privacy or another way of gaining publicity depending on the type of clips that can go viral from these streams. Make sure that as an artist who doesn't have a disposable income from a label, that you really try to branch out your income streams. There's Patreon, merchandise, YouTube ads, sync licensing, and so many more. But do what feels right, because from what I've learned about this band,
I want to do Patreon and like merch soon. I definitely want to do that. And you know, I want to get back into making beats and stuff like that, so I would be down to do some sync stuff. But anyway, let's keep going.
is that we cannot rely on only one or two things. But make sure you're focused on quality. Quality fans deserve a quality product. If these people are loyal to you and the message you're trying to spread, be sure to respect them and give them the quality products they deserve. I'm not saying to cater to every request and bend at the knee to them, because at the end of the day, art is king. Create the art you want to create, but if people are paying to get more of you, just be sure you're giving them the best you got. Now, what does this mean for the music industry as a whole? I mean, we're still going to discover new music every day, and trends are going to spark somewhere else. We will just have to wait and see where the ring of fire lies, but I do believe we may start to see a resurgence.
That was crazy.
To music videos, which would be great because this is one of my favorite ways to promote music. They have taken a backseat since the demand of them has dropped drastically in America, but who knows, it might become a hot topic again. I think a massive shift in building authentic fan bases will be crucial for smaller artists, but industry plants may crop up more than ever, boasting similar images to those of Sabrina Carpenter and Charlie XCX. I just believe that's because they're everywhere you can imagine at the moment, and it's not just for their music, but the persona they portray themselves as online. If this is truly the end of TikTok in America, then we know with absolute certainty that clones are just creeping over the horizon. I don't know if any of these will ever reach the height as any of the big three we see today though. What TikTok built was certainly one of a kind, and you could honestly point out distinct attributes of a TikTok user that would be very difficult to reimagine from the ground up, especially since the expectations would be set so high and every box would need to be checked right off the bat in order to keep them on the platform. I think we can expect shorts and reels to carry the torch from now on, and who knows, this may encourage some massive revamps on these platforms to try and recreate the magic that TikTok built on its own. There's still some hope for TikTok though. As of late December, Trump has done a complete 180 on his initial distaste for the app and has requested the Supreme Court to pause the ban.
Yeah, because basically this shit helped him win. I was seeing him all over the fucking place. It was crazy. I think he got like billions and billions of views, like real crazy shit. I seen him like all over. It was crazy when the election was going on. Like I'd see like maybe like one or two Kamala and then like boom, it would be Trump, and like people like posting. It's crazy. That was a crazy time on TikTok, which is really wild that TikTok even let that happen. But you know, just because of what was being said with the TikTok platform and stuff like that. So that's kind of wild, but I'm glad he did a 180 on that. That's cool.
Of TikTok to work on a deal with TikTok's owner ByteDance to sell the platform to an American company to protect our nation's national security issue with China. China themselves have claimed that the platform posed no threat to America's national security and have gone on record to say that banning the app would even go against America's First Amendment rights of freedom of speech. So it's an interesting case. But I'm curious, what do you think will happen in a TikTok free world? How will the music industry evolve, and what do you think is the next big thing? To both the music industry and creator space, it's uncertain. I don't have the answers, so we're left to wait patiently until January 19th. So until then, I guess we'll find out.
For me, I think that it could be, I don't know. It's hard to say what TikTok, it would leave a lot of like openness in the air, you know what I mean? A lot of platforms would be created. Apparently people are already going to this red note app and they're like, you know what, we're gonna go and let the Chinese actually take our information type shit. It's so funny, but like I said, it's interesting. I like to see that we could have a very, very open market now, and who knows, these platforms would probably have to change their algorithms, you know, based on, you know, what TikTok was doing, and they use TikTok as a stepping stone. So I'm interested. Could be different, you know, could be a whole different thing. But anyway, make sure y'all go ahead, like the video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell one time. Let us know, like, what do y'all think about TikToks, man? Do y'all love it? Do y'all hate it? You know, what's the goods? What's the bad? You know, anyway, I'm out. Peace.